This morning on The Dish, Atlanta restaurateur Justin Anthony. He wasn't a trained chef, but he always thought the food of his native South Africa might be a big hit in this country. And he was right, expanding to a handful of eateries in Atlanta. Then the pandemic hit, and he turned much of his attention to feeding his community, prepping and delivering meals to frontline healthcare workers at hospitals near his Biltong Bar, one of those eateries. Just before that turn of events, I had the chance to sit down with Anthony, as we all used to do, and enjoy a culinary tour of his homeland.
So welcome to Beef Jerky and Booze.
I love it.
Here at Biltong Bar, Justin Anthony brings the street food of his native South Africa to Atlanta.
Biltong is different than beef jerky, and then it's air-dried, kind of like a dry-aged steak. So right now we've got our traditional right here.
Okay.
This one right here is peri-peri, so it's going to be spicy.
Going for that.
The cured meat is a South African staple, brought by the Dutch 4 centuries ago.
What's interesting is that literally on every street corner, every butcher you go into, there's just biltong everywhere. But it's very much only exists in South Africa.
And he says South Africa's unique cuisines are a direct result of its makeup.
South Africa has 11 official languages. It's the same thing with the food. So you've got French, Portuguese, Dutch, German, English, Indian, Malaysian, and Mediterranean influences. So like there's so much going on.
If somebody asked you now, what is South African cuisine? In a sentence, what would you say?
South African cuisine it's a fusion of, I hate using the word fusion. Basically, it's like taking your taste buds on safari.
Anthony would eventually bring that safari to America. But it was sports that brought him here almost 25 years ago.
I moved to Atlanta back in '96, just before the Olympics, and I moved here to actually play professional soccer. So that's how I ended up in Atlanta.
And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for all of us, soccer didn't work.
Yeah, I had a knee injury, and I was struggling to play at the level that I wanted to play at. So I made a conscious decision that I was going to retire.
Uncertain about what career might be next, Anthony had an epiphany.
In the mid to late 90s, there were a lot of South Africans moving to Atlanta. And I was like, you know what, always been passionate about food and wine. My parents are chefs, and I kind of grew up around it. And so I was like, I'm going to open up a South African pub restaurant. And everyone thought I was crazy.
Because it's not that easy to do.
This was 1997. There was like no such thing as a South African restaurant. So literally I went from being a professional soccer player to being a waiter at a restaurant, just kind of learning the business. All of these dishes have been a staple since day one.
Right.
Anthony, who's an only child, convinced his parents, Diane and Derek, to leave Johannesburg and join him here in the States.
I mean, now that I think about it, it was terrifying, but I mean, you know, we did what we had to do.
Right.
To make ourselves happy and to be with Justin.
That's what parents do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Together, they crafted a menu that encompasses the many flavors and spices of home. In 1998, they opened what they believe was the first South African restaurant in the U.S., 10 Degrees South, which is South Africa's location from the Tropic of Capricorn.
Let's dig in.
We share dishes like chicken curry, peri-peri chicken, and calamari.
What was it really like in the early days of, first of all, trying to come up with this, but then also working with your son? It's a different thing to work with family than working with other people.
I think it worked well. I mean, we were just so busy trying to make things work, and we were doing everything. I mean, every single one of us knew how to bartend, serve, be in the kitchen, all of us.
Now, along with 10 Degrees South, Anthony operates 4 restaurant concepts in Atlanta, including Biltong Bar, Yebo Beach House, and Cape Dutch.
Every time I eat curry or peri-peri, I start sweating.
But he calls 10 Degrees South the mothership, with foods at his other spots stemming from it.
You notice I'm not being shy, I'm just reaching for
Yeah,
everything.
please go for it. In South Africa, we have a saying, get stuck in. Like,
That's it.
Right, you
Just
know.
take the whole thing. And the right way to eat a prawn
Yeah.
is take it out the shell and
Right.
then chew the shell and suck it so you get the taste. And
Oh,
then
so you can really
Then
get-
you get the real taste.
Well,
of
I wouldn't
the prawn.
say it's
No.
the right way. It's
Well, I mean,
his
that's the way you
That's his way.
It's his way.
Did you ever imagine when your son was playing soccer that this would become the future?
No. I thought that he was going to do sports psychology, and that was it.
And instead, a family business.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
The Anthony family has hosted a veritable who's who, from Morgan Freeman and Robert De Niro to Aaron Rodgers and LeBron James.
Which dessert am I about to try?
It's called Dar's Delight.
This is the
famous
LeBron James dessert,
Yes.
is what somebody who's an NBA fan would say.
It's a riff, if you will, of a traditional South African dessert called Malba Pudding.
Oh my gosh. Even without the ice cream, it would be delicious.
Yes.
LeBron James famously ate, I think, 7 or 8 of them before dinner. Yeah, one night when he was playing for the Heat, they were in town.
Anthony says it's his sports background, that team philosophy and work ethic he had on the field, which played a big part of building success in the restaurant industry.
There's no such thing as an easy business. You want to be a successful athlete, you better work hard. You want to be a successful business owner, you better work hard.
Yeah.
The harder you work, the luckier you get. Nothing happens easy. You have to work for it.
To know that you came here to play soccer and you've created a family business of restaurants, for you, what's that like?
You know, sometimes I have to pinch myself. It's kind of the American dream.
And the name of the restaurant group, True Story Brands, and he says that's because it is a true story that they were able to build this here in America, the American dream.
I really miss our dishes. Being able to sit there and
I know,
have a
so
great
close.
meal like that.
Pre-pandemic, yeah.
Yeah.